Michael Keith Mike Simpson, D.M.D., is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives representing Idaho's 2nd congressional district. First elected in 1998, he is a member of the Republican Party and previously served in the state legislature in Idaho. Early life, education and career. Born in Burley, Simpson was raised in Blackfoot, where his father was a dentist. He graduated from Blackfoot High School in 1968, Utah State University in Logan in 1972, and the Washington University School of Dental Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri. In 1977, Simpson practiced dentistry in Blackfoot until his election to Congress in 1998. He was elected to the Blackfoot City Council in 1980 and was elected to the state legislature in 1984, the first of 7 terms. Simpson was the Speaker of the Idaho House prior to his election to Congress. While some members of Congress with a medical background prefer to be addressed as Dr. Simpson does not insist that he be referred to as Dr. Simpson, preferring to simply go by Congressman or Mr. Simpson. U.S. House of Representatives Committee Assignments: Committee on Appropriations, Subcommittee on Energy and Water Development, Subcommittee on Interior, Environment, and Related Agencies, Subcommittee on Labor, Health and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies. Party Leadership: House Republican Steering Committee. Caucus membership in the 111th United States Congress. Simpson became the ranking member on the Interior, Environment, and Related Agencies Appropriations Subcommittee. Upon assuming this position, and the subsequent chairmanship of the subcommittee, Mr. Simpson is considered a cardinal within the House Republican caucus. He also serves as the small state representative on the 33-member House Republican Steering Committee. Known as the Committee of Committees, the steering committee decides which Republican lawmakers become ranking members on House committees. Simpson replaced Congressman Don Young on the committee. Legislation. On March 21, 2014, Simpson introduced the bill to amend the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act to authorize the Secretary of the Interior to maintain or replace certain facilities and structures for commercial recreation services at Smith Gulch in Idaho. The bill would require the United States Secretary of Agriculture to permit private entities to repair or replace certain commercial facilities on United States Forest Service land in Idaho. Simpson said that this legislation clarifies Congress' intent of the 2004 amendments to the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act, which continued the existing use and occupancy of commercial services in this corridor of the Salmon River. On June 20, 2014, Simpson introduced the Energy and Water Development and Related Agencies Appropriations Act 2015, a bill that would make appropriations for energy and water development and related agencies for FY 2015. The bill would appropriate $34 billion, which is only $50 million less than these agencies currently receive. The appropriations for the United States Department of Energy and the United States Army Corps of Engineers are made by this bill. Political positions. Simpson is a conservative member of the Republican Party. However, he is known to be pragmatic on certain issues. For example, he was one of a handful of Republicans to vote in favor of the reauthorization of the state children's health insurance program in the 110th Congress. Simpson has also been a supporter of the National Endowment of the Arts and the National Endowment of the Humanities, voting each year against Republican amendments to strip them of funding. In the past, he has opposed earmarks or congressionally directed spending. Simpson supports an agenda of low taxes and pro-business policies. 2013 government shutdown. In October 2013, Simpson voted to end the United States federal government shutdown of 2013 taxes. When asked about the Grover-Norquist pledge to oppose any net increase in taxes, Simpson said, "Well, first the pledge. I signed that in 1998 when I first ran. I didn't know I was signing a marriage agreement that would last forever." Second Amendment. Simpson was one of the members of Congress to sign the D.C. v. Heller amicus brief which supported a recognition of the Second Amendment as an individual right. He voted for and helped to pass the National Right to Carry Reciprocity Act of 2011. Under this new law, which passed through the House of Representatives on November 16, 2011, people with a valid license are allowed to carry a concealed weapon in other states, as long as those states allow concealed weapons and don't have specific rules about concealed weapons carried by non-residents. Environment. Simpson's hallmark legislation in the House of Representatives has been the Central Idaho Economic Development and Recreation Act, which would create 312,000 acres of wilderness in central Idaho, much of which is currently a wilderness study area. Simpson has faced substantial resistance from groups like the Sierra Club, who claim the bill lacks wilderness values because the bill allows for motorized access to certain portions of the wilderness area, and some federal land would be transferred to the state of Idaho to promote the economic development of the local community and the recreational use of national forest land and other public lands in central Idaho. Simpson has also faced opposition from groups who pose new federal land designations and wilderness designations, particularly because of restricted access to wilderness areas. In August 2015, a revised version of CIEDRA, the Sawtooth National Recreation Area and Jerry Peak Wilderness Additions Act, passed Congress and was signed by President Obama, creating the Hemingway Boulders, Jim McClure Jerry Peak, and White Clouds wilderness areas, which cover a total of 275,665 acres of central Idaho. Judgeship reorganization. He also played a crucial role with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Judgeship and Reorganization Act. Mike Simpson's goal is to amend Title 28 and create the appointment of additional federal circuit judges, to divide the Ninth Judicial Circuit into two smaller judicial circuits. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Judgeship and Reorganization Act was introduced to House Judiciary Committee, and more specifically to the Subcommittee on Courts and Competition Policy. Since January 24, 2011, the bill has been in the subcommittee, where it will be refined before being presented to the Judiciary Committee, then later the actual House of Representatives. Hell, following the death of Congressman Charlie Norwood in February 2007, Simpson has become a leading advocate of the American Dental Association in Congress, in part because his profession is dentistry. The advocacy inspired Simpson to introduce legislation regarding methamphetamine, specifically how the drug affects tooth decay or meth-mouth. The bill is formally called H.R. 1671, Meth-Mouth Prevention and Community Recovery Act, with the purpose to understand and address the oral health problems associated with methamphetamine. The bill's goals are to expand and intensify the Department of Health and Human Services, make grants available to educate 12 to 17-year-olds about meth-mouth, and to promote a series of education activities for all dentists to learn about substance use disorders and the relationship to oral health and the provision provision of dental care. As of March 24, 2009, the bill was put from the House Committee on Energy and Commerce to the Subcommittee on Health, where it has been debated, but never brought to a conclusion. As soon as that happens, it will be brought up before the whole committee, then later the House of Representatives. Simpson was an original co-sponsor of the Newborn Screening Saves Lives Reauthorization Act of 2013, a bill that would amend the Public Health Service Act to reauthorize grant programs and other initiatives to promote expanded screening of newborns and children for heritable disorders. Simpson said that the bill reflects the realities of reduced budgets Washington, but continues and strengthens the well-established system of monitoring and evaluating infant conditions soon after birth. Just one small blood sample from the newborn's foot identifies infants with genetic or other conditions that can be treated quickly and effectively, saving and improving thousands of lives. Energy. Simpson is also known as an outspoken proponent of nuclear power, extolling its virtues as an environmentally friendly source of energy with minimal carbon output. Simpson's support for this form of energy plays a significant role in his membership of the United States House Appropriations Subcommittee on Energy and Water Development, which oversees the Idaho National Laboratory, a main site for nuclear and alternative energy research in the United States. Simpson is a strong supporter of the domestic sugar beet producers and the Idaho potato growers. In 2010, Simpson took up the cause alongside his former Democratic colleague, Walt Minnick, the lead sponsor of the bill, to secure a third federal judge for Idaho. Simpson was quoted as saying, "The caseload of the Idaho District Court has increased significantly in recent decades, resulting in Idaho's district judges carrying a disproportionate share of cases in relation to their colleagues in other states." Simpson has become increasingly opposed to President Obama and the congressional Democrats' policy agenda. Simpson has announced his commitment to repealing the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, questioning its constitutionality and effectiveness. He is said to be close to and loyal to Speaker John Boehner. Public recognition. Esquire magazine listed Simpson as one of the 10 best members of Congress in October 2008. The magazine said of Simpson, "More than any other representative, Simpson lives by the philosophy that democratic representation is a matter of finding not advantageous positions but common ground." The magazine's portrayal of Simpson echoes one of his personal philosophies, which is embodied in a quote by Henry Clay: "Politics is not about ideological purity or moral self-righteousness. It is about governing, and if a politician cannot compromise, he cannot govern effectively." This quote is framed and hangs in Simpson's Washington, D.C. office. Simpson has been credited as having a key role in the election of John Boehner to the position of House Majority Leader in the 109th United States Congress. While the Republican Party held the majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, Simpson often served as the Speaker pro tempore of the House, particularly during debates concerning controversial legislation. Due to his command of House procedure, Simpson is known to have broken several sounding boards with the gavel while calling the House to order. This inspired Simpson to have a number of sounding boards produced in Idaho, which he presented to then Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert as a joke. When the Republican Party regained control of the House of Representatives in 2010, Mr. Simpson began once again to serve frequently as the Speaker pro tempore of the House. He has been supported by a PAC affiliated with the Republican Main Street Partnership, which helps pragmatic Republicans who are willing to work across party lines. Political campaigns. Simpson entered the 1998 campaign for the U.S. House seat vacated by Mike Crapo, who was running for United States Senate. He defeated former Democratic Congressman Richard H. Stallings in the general election. Simpson did not face serious opposition in 2002 and 2004. In 2006, Simpson defeated former Democratic State Representative Jim D. Hanson, son of former Republican Congressman Orville H. Hanson, to win re-election. 2008, Simpson was re-elected to a sixth term in 2008, defeating Democrat Debbie Holmes. The final result was 204,465 for Simpson and 83,340 for Holmes, giving Simpson 71% of the vote. Esquire magazine endorsed Simpson for Idaho's 2nd congressional district in the 2008 elections, but endorsed Democrat Walt Minnick for Idaho's 1st congressional district. During the 2008 presidential primaries, Simpson was an early supporter of former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney and a member of his congressional whip team. 2010, Simpson was challenged by Democratic nominee Mike Crawford and independent candidate Brian Shard. In the Republican primary, Simpson defeated Chick Heilson of Iona and Russ Matthews of Idaho Falls. Each touted himself as a more conservative alternative. Simpson won re-election. 2012, Simpson was challenged by Democratic nominee Nicola Favor. In the Republican primary, Simpson defeated Chick Heilson. 2014, in the 2014 Idaho Republican primary, Simpson defeated Brian Smith, earning 61.8% of the vote. Election results source: Larry Craig scandal. During the 2007 scandal involving Senator Larry Craig, Simpson was openly considered for an appointment to the U.S. Senate in the event that Senator Craig resigned. Simpson, however, asked Governor C.L. Butch Otter to remove his name from consideration, claiming that the Idaho congressional delegation would be in a better position if he were to remain in the House and retain his seniority on the House Appropriations Committee. Simpson rankled Senate leadership during the Craig scandal by criticizing them for the treatment of the senator. Simpson is quoted as saying, "If that's how they treat their own, that tells me they're more interested in party than individuals, and the party is made up of individuals. How you treat them says a lot about your party." Simpson is not known to have condoned Craig's alleged misconduct, but he demanded that Craig be treated fairly. For example, he is quoted as saying, "They have people over there in far worse trouble that they haven't said a thing about."